everyone, so I made it back from LeakyCon alive but slightly exhausted and without the leaky flu or viral meningitis. I'm here for another Top 5 Wednesday, so if you want to catch up more on that Goodreads group and all of the Wednesdayers, I'll put links to that in the description, but other than that, let's get started. So whenever I was thinking about love triangles, I definitely had to start with one of my favorite books from when I was in high school. So, Perks of Being a Wallflower. The triangle that I really think of whenever I think about this is Charlie, Sam, and Craig. Even though I know the focus of the book is on Charlie, that love triangle for Sam had to be very complicated. It's very much the guy that she has been with and that she's supposed to be committed to and is supposed to be more mature than her. And then a younger freshman who seems to be seriously passive and can't take an actual stand on anything, but has all of these intelligent philosophical thoughts and conversations with her. And if you think about it from her perspective, it's actually a really intriguing triangle. Plus, as I said, this is one of my favorite books in high school, so it's still one of the ones that I gravitate back to. Number 4 on the list is going to have to go to the E. Lockhart series about Ruby Oliver. Specifically in the boyfriend list, you get a pretty good setup for the triangle of Jackson, Ruby, and Noel. The only way that the triangle actually works is if you really connect with Ruby Oliver's character, because she's dealing with this guy who's essentially her first boyfriend, and then this guy who's clearly better for her and more awesome in pretty much every way. But she's so stuck on this past relationship that seeing a future one is really difficult for her. And I think that's true of a lot of teenagers, so I really like this book because it felt genuine. One of my original problems whenever it came to picking books with love triangles was that I was trying not to pick books all by the same author, and Jane Austen, of course, is one of my favorites. Now, I know you're thinking there's not really a love triangle in here, but for a brief period of time, there kind of is one between Darcy and Wickham and Elizabeth. And it's really interesting, before you know everything that you do about Wickham, to see the very stark differences in their outward character between Wickham and Darcy, and to see why Elizabeth would gravitate to one as opposed to the other, and yet knowing the entire time you're reading it which one you want her to end up with because you know that person would be better for her. So it's weird that the reader already knows that this love triangle is not really a thing, but it definitely feels like a kind of thing for Elizabeth. Jane Austen is just so good. She does something very similar in Emma with Frank and Knightley and Emma. And can we all talk about how we have to see Emma approved tomorrow, because oh my gosh. And I think Jane Austen does a really good job of making love triangles not really seem like love triangles. And I actually really enjoy that. So on the same vein of not wanting to choose the same author for all of the books, Stephanie Perkins does an amazing job with dealing with kind of love triangle relationships. I know everybody likes Anna and the French Kiss better, with Anna and St. Clair and then St. Clair's girlfriend, who I can never remember the name of. But since you don't really see the relationship between St. Clair and that other girl very much, I'm not drawn to that love triangle as much. I just really like Anna and St. Clair. Lola and the Boy Next Door, however, plays on that love triangle much more. You have the boy that she's kind of always loved, and who wouldn't love cricket? And then Lola is also dating an older guy, Max, who's supposed to kind of be this representation of what she's going for. And by that I mean somebody who definitely is driven by creativity and lets everything else float around that. The only real problem with Stephanie Perkins novels and their love triangles is that you're already rooting for the two characters that you know have to be together, because Stephanie Perkins is way too good at matching them up. But she writes so well that you definitely understand why the character would be torn, and that's really important in love triangles. So my number 1 love triangle is from The Great Gatsby. Daisy and Jay and Tom are literally the love triangle to live up to in pretty much any book. If I'm going to write something that could even resemble a love triangle, I reread The Great Gatsby. Fitzgerald does a very good job of painting that scene so well, and even the two characters that are so desperately in love and you're rooting for Gatsby the entire time, and then it just nothing pans out the way that you think it should. He just did a very good job. So yeah, it's my number 1. Love triangles are in a lot of books, and there are a ton that didn't make it into my top 5 list that I really love, from The Hunger Games to Fangirl to so many other books that I love, including, if you want to be a little bit strange, Looking for Alaska. And there are even more in TV that don't count, but that I like even better than some of the ones in books, like Jess and Dean and Rory in Gilmore Girls. It's just a good one. So if you have your favorite love triangles in books or in anything else, I would love to hear about them in the comments. I will see you guys again next week, and until then, I hope that the very end of your summer goes absolutely awesome.